Wasn't that long ago, everyone was making fun of the Panthers for letting Sam Darnold and Baker Mayfield slip through their fingers. Because Sam Darnold had the Vikings all the way at the top of the standings in the NFC, and Baker Mayfield was lighting it up. I think he's tied for the second or third most total touchdowns in the NFL, passing plus rushing. And everybody was making fun. Let's revisit those jokes today, because obviously Sam Darnold had a rough night last night. Some would say he finally turned back into the pumpkin that many were expecting him to do much earlier in the season. At times it was hard to watch. He wouldn't cut it loose. Kind of had some Bryce Young early in the season moments where open receiver, but he was so hesitant to throw it that he ended up taking the sack. And Baker Mayfield got outdueled by a rookie. Jaden Daniels ends up getting the win. So both Darnold and Baker make the postseason, and both Darnold and Baker don't make it out of the first weekend. The Panthers didn't miss out on MVP candidates here. They missed out on good, solid, but not over-the-top, top-tier quarterbacks, right? Sam Darnold and Baker Mayfield are good. You have to hope that Bryce Young is significantly better than even what what Sam Darnold and Baker Mayfield showed this year. And this has been the high water mark for both of them. This is it may sound crazy, but if your goal is to win a Super Bowl, which every team in the NFL's goal should be, I would be very frustrated if there was an owner out there like, I don't know, put fans in the seats. If we make the playoffs every couple of years, I'm good. Like, your goal should be a Super Bowl. If your goal is a Super Bowl, you have to hope Bryce Young is a Hall of Famer. And that's not me talking, that's history talking. This is one of my favorite stats, and it may be ruined a bit by Matt Stafford. Do you have Matt Stafford as a Hall of Famer?
No.
No? Close?
Yeah.
Okay. Since Brad Johnson won a Super Bowl with the Bucs in the 2002 NFL season. So that's the John Gruden, Warren Sapp, Derrick Brooks year, way back in 2002. Only on non-rookie contracts, only obvious Hall of Famers and Matt Stafford have won a title. So whatever, I think Matt Stafford will probably get in, and I think he's going to play long enough to be you're going to look at his he's going to finish in the top 10 in most passing stats. He's going to have the Super Bowl, may have another. He's still in it this year. But here are the quarterbacks that have won a Super Bowl since 2002, not on a rookie contract. Mahomes, Stafford, Brady, Manning, Rodgers, Breeze, Roethlisberger. That's it. That's a lot of first ballot Hall of Famers there, and Matt Stafford. That's what you're looking at. And Matt Stafford might end up being one. So the only way history will tell you that you win a Super Bowl not on a rookie contract is with a first ballot Hall of Famer or Matt Stafford. So you don't win them with Sam Darnold making a bunch of money. You don't win them with Baker Mayfield on a $100 million contract. You might get a lot better. He might put it in position so the next guy can win because you built a winning culture. It's tough. The other three that have won Super Bowls, by the way, Nick Foles / Carson Wentz. Carson Wentz was on a rookie contract, so that's why he had money to go have a really, really good supporting cast. Nick Foles, backup quarterback, power to you. Russell Wilson on a rookie contract. That's why you're good enough to have the Legion of Boom, had all the money to spend. And Joe Flacco on a rookie contract, and he cashed in the next offseason, and they never won again. It seems dumb, but Sam Darnold and Baker Mayfield kind of prove that you have to hope Bryce Young is a Hall of Famer if the Panthers want to win a Super Bowl. Or the other option would be to win it in the next 2 years. Which,
I feel great about playing football right now.
I think the arrow is pointed up for the Panthers. I don't know if it's pointed up at a steep enough angle for them to win a Super Bowl while Bryce Young is still on a rookie contract.
Yeah, that's going from 6 to midnight right there.
That is straight up. Look at the quarterbacks that are left, right? Mahomes is left. Josh Allen, probably a Hall of Famer, especially if he wins a Super Bowl. Lamar Jackson, already a Hall of Famer. Matt Stafford, talked about it. And Stroud, rookie contract. Daniels, rookie contract. Goff and Hurts are really the only ones that could ruin my stat. Sam Darnold, Baker Mayfield are good, and I know they're beloved in Tampa, and Sam Darnold is going to – I think he's going to end up starting somewhere next year. If it's not Minnesota, someone's going to give him a shot because there's just not – there's not 10 quarterbacks on the planet each year that I believe make it a team – make it so you can win a Super Bowl because of them. And the other 22 teams still need quarterbacks. So Sam Darnold's going to end up somewhere.
Yeah, the demand for QBs is greater than the supply. He's going to be starting somewhere next year.
And he won 14 games this year, and it wasn't a complete accident. He wasn't getting lucky. It wasn't going through the defender's hands off their helmet and bouncing into Justin Jefferson's arms. He showed something this year. I think he's going to be a starter. Baker Mayfield will be starting for Tampa because he had a great season this year. History will tell you it is extremely unlikely they will achieve the ultimate goal. Now, history will also tell you it's extremely unlikely that Bryce Young becomes a Hall of Famer and becomes one of those guys that the Panthers could win it with. Heck, somebody like Cam Newton couldn't even get it done. And he was a much more obvious, whoa, this guy's got something special player by this point in his career. But don't worry about passing on doubles at the quarterback position. Right? Hey, we got a guy who's pretty good. Pretty good? For $50 million makes it near impossible to win a Super Bowl. Pretty good, and 3 years, $140 million makes it near impossible to achieve your ultimate goal. Now, really unbelievably good, right? The Mahomes, the Allens, the Jacksons, Matt Stafford, the really, really goods. Yeah, you can pay them and still win. They're worth it. They can make up what happens on the rest of your roster, what you sacrifice from paying them all that money. But it's not. And by the way, I said it when it happened, right? When all of the Sam Darnold, Baker Mayfield used to be Panther jokes happened, I right in that moment I said these jokes aren't doing the damage that you think it is. Right? The Panthers, even though it's a previous regime, should not be embarrassed by the decision to let those two guys walk. They weren't going to turn around a franchise. And oh, by the way, we didn't even mention that part. We didn't even mention that part, which is the level of quarterback it takes to turn around a dungeon franchise, a basement franchise. Somebody like Sam Darnold or Baker Mayfield might be able to walk into teams that already turned it around and keep the engine cranking, right? Kirk Cousins did a lot of the work with Minnesota and Kevin O'Connell to bring about a franchise that had a good culture. Tom Brady did the same with Tampa. Now Baker Mayfield and Sam Darnold can slide on over into the driver's seat and keep it on the road, but it is a completely different beast to be the one that turns everything around. I'm not sure that's Bryce either, but better chance there's still at least the unknown. There's still at least the possibility of. Sometimes I think, and this is where we get into like football theory, right? This is where it's more essay question, not math question, right? You got to explain your answer, and you judge the logic. A lot of times I think fans think the percentages are so much higher than they should be. You draft a quarterback, it's like, well, it should be like a 70% chance. No, I think most are 10. There's a 10% chance this is going to work out for you. You draft a quarterback, it's like a 10% chance he's going to be a Hall of Famer. And I don't know if that's I don't have all the numbers in front of me. And by the way, that's high. Most quarterbacks you draft, it's like less than 1. Right? When you throw Russell Wilson in our face, and he was a 3rd-round pick, Tom Brady, and he was a 6th-round pick, I'm going, the percentages of that are so microscopic. Sure, it can happen, right? You can win a lottery too. It doesn't make it likely. Somebody like Bryce Young, I'm sitting here saying it's unlikely he's going to be a Hall of Famer, which means it's unlikely he's going to be good enough to win you a Super Bowl while getting paid $50, $60 million a year, which is the going rate for a starting quarterback in the league. It's unlikely. But unlikely, I think that's everybody. I don't know if there's a quarterback drafted in the history of the world that I would say had a better than like 20% chance of being a Hall of Famer. Sometimes it seems like it in retrospect, like John Elway, and you're like, you could throw it 100 miles an hour. The Yankees wanted him. A lot of ways that could have gone poorly. And he knew it too. That's why he didn't want to play for the Colts. Andrew Luck, he was perfect. Yeah, well, the injuries did him in. There's always something. There's always an obstacle. Darnold and Baker were never going to be that dude with the Carolina Panthers. And there might not be a great chance that it's a Bryce Young situation where he can be that dude, but it's better than either of those guys.